And we're back. Well, I'm back. This is the entire Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling as part of the John's Podcasting Network. I'm the Great British Taku, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy Most, and I'm here by myself. It's been a while since we put out a podcast episode. This has just been due to health issues. I was, however, able to watch plenty of wrestling while stuck in bed, including Progress, Rev Pro, TNT, GCW European shows, the WXW World Tag Team Festival, and so much more. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure where we're going with the podcast. So for now, this is going to be more of a YouTube channel reviewing shows, in particular the aforementioned shows and more, as well as possibly previewing top pick shows for the coming weeks, like we used to do as part of the bi-weekly podcast. However, TNT's Great British Wrestling YouTube channel doesn't quite roll off the tongue compared to a Great British Wrestling podcast. So maybe I need to consider a name change. Would love to know what you guys think in the comments, please. There will be no schedule in particular, just whenever I can record and release videos. I will try to get as many out as soon as possible, as we got a lot to catch up for. September was an incredible month for British and European wrestling. October looks set to be another incredible month. Kicking things off with this new era of Teen Tights will be my review of North Wrestling NCL, and the WXW show that took place on the 9th of September at the Anarchy Brewery in Newcastle. I know, very late to this one, but it was the last show I went to live, and it's like to be one of the last live shows I go to for some time. So I wanted this to be the first episode that we put out there. This show is also available on WXW Now 2.0. As I really wanted to put the episode out there because it was a great show. I had a fantastic night, great action, great community of wrestling fans, referred to as the North Faithful. The Anarchy Brewery, whilst does have space limitations, does provide an awesome, unique vibe and atmosphere that is really difficult to replicate, if I'm honest. Before I carry on with the review, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and if you went to the show, let me know what you thought of the show, what were your favorite matches. And so the show kicked off with what I called the meeting of the two franchise performers in North and WXW, as Rory Coyle faced off against the WXW Unified World Champion Robert Deissker. When you think about WXW and you think about North, you do think about these two performers. Back to the match itself, when they came face to face, it really did remind me of like Vader and Mick Foley, or Vader and Cactus Jack, if you like. This was a good match. Not many wrestling holds or maneuvers, but an absolute husk in Deissker, who, in my opinion, looks in better shape than ever. He really does just look like a bona fide super heavyweight right now, and he used his size and power advantage to really good effect, facing off against the scrappy, brawling Rory Coyle. The fan support for Rory Coyle is incredible. You know, I don't claim to be the biggest Rory Coyle fan. I do prefer technical wrestling, but I certainly respect Rory Coyle. I respect the way he resonates with the crowd, almost like a cult following. I respect his dedication to the art of wrestling. I respect his dedication to the way he goes about his video packages. And he is easily one of the best talkers in Brit Rest when it comes to the in-ring promos. After some decent back and forth, Deissker did come away with the victory. He did have to resort to using a kendo stick. He didn't follow this up with the Deissker bomb. A very entertaining match. The North Faithful were absolutely into. After the match, Rory Coyle got on the mic stating that if Deissker wanted another match and to use weapons, he'd be up for it. I, for one, would love to see these two guys go all Cactus Jack versus Vader at Halloween Havoc. I think it would be fantastic. The crowd would absolutely love it. Yeah, a solid opening match. I'm going to give 2.5 sugars. Up next was an all-North wrestling affair. We had some great tag team action as Code Black, Joe Wade, and Joe Kessler took on the landed Gentry of Knox and Benji. Again, the reaction for the landed Gentry from the North Faithful is something to hear. They really do not like them. Wade and Kessler, two young performers who I've always thought have some great potential. Possibly need a few more matches together to be a bit more cohesive as a tag team, but overall thoroughly impressed by both young competitors. Also have to mention the fact that Wade is looking like Jaskier from The Witcher. Wade himself is very athletic, definitely has a pair of educated feet, to steal a cliche. I'm assuming he does have some sort of martial arts background. Joe Kessler is a big lad, and he definitely provided the power for the team. There was great teamwork from the landed Gentry to isolate either Kessler or Wade at times during the match, which is really impressive considering the size of the ring that North used in the Anarchy Brewery. There was good use of a ref distraction to get added heat on the finish. A solid tag team match with landed Gentry picking up a win on what was their 5th year anniversary of teaming together in North Wrestling. A decent enough tag match. I feel Coyle Blanc need to work on their teamwork and communication. Landed Gentry are an excellent antagonistic tag team, and the way they perform or play up for the North Aigle is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give this one 2.25 sugars. We got the first of 3 championship championship matches up next as Natalie Sykes challenged Everett for the WXW Women's Championship. This was my first time getting to see Natalie live, and I was very impressed. She really took the fight to Ava, who tried to do the old trick of being the champion, trying to just leave and get the ring count, be counted out so she could retain her title without actually fighting. But Natalie didn't allow this. Some really good wrestling from Natalie, who sold well at times and took her comeback spots really well. Definitely been a fan of Ava ever since she started to appear for WXW. She is amazing at getting heat, similar to the way Lizzie Evo can, only replacing that Liverpool Scouse girl for a Florida girl. That's not to take away from her in-ring ability. She is really good in the ring, very aggressive. Again, quite like Lizzie Evo. Just her personality shines whenever she is out there performing. This was an excellent match with Ava picking up the win, retaining her title, but Natalie should 100% be pleased with her performance. I'm going to give this match 3 sugars. Up next, it was supposed to be Liam Slater versus Axel Tischer, a match that I was really looking forward to, but Rampage Brown wanted to rain on my parade. He attacked Slater before the match, leaving him unable to compete. A little disappointed by this, but don't worry, North and WXW, they make it up later in the second half. So to close out the first half of the show was a match that I was truly excited to before. As soon as it was announced, I honestly thought this match was going to be an absolute barn burner, but honestly, it exceeded all my expectations that I had. Crashboat, Jack Bandicoot, and Jake Silver versus the Frenchadors, Aigle, Blanc, and Senza Volto. Blanc has just got back from a run in All Japan Wrestling, where by all accounts they've really been, he really impressed whilst out there. It's still really strange to see Volto without his mark. The French sensation is a super performer, and this was carrying on some of the miscommunications between Volto and Aigle Blanc as they will eventually split out on WXW World Tag Team Festival. I'll tell you all about it when I review the show. I love Crashboat. I love Bandicoot. He is really innovated. He uses his small stature brilliantly and just so much fun. Silver is one of those guys that you'll always be impressed with. He hits a move that you maybe don't expect him to be able to do. He's kind of like a gringo loco out there. He's also the heart and soul of the team, and together as a team, they are just so much fun. And once again, the reception from the North Faithful was incredible, and I got to see him enter in their boat being carried out by the North Faithful to the ring. As to the match, it was fast-paced, high-flying, super exciting. The match was full of incredible sequences, some awesome spots, some great tag team double teams, just just so good. It was tough to choose a match of the night between this and the main event. By the end of the night, the Frenchadors had won over the crowd as well with their fantastic performance. Aigle and Volto are phenomenal performers, but it was Crashboat who did pick up the win here. Great match to lead us into the break. This was incredible to witness live. I'm going to give it 4 sugars. Just absolutely fantastic from all 4 competitors. Shout out to 2J's Pizzas who were serving up pizza out of their van outside the show. I usually love a post wrestling show pizza, but I was worried I wasn't going to be able to due to having to get a hotel all the way much further away from the venue that I planned to. But so I had a mid-show pizza and it was fantastic. And all I can say, it was an incredible pizza. And you know what? I'm going to give the pizza 4.5 sugars. We kick off the second half with another championship match as Jet Marshall had a huge opportunity challenging Laurence Roman for the WXW Shotgun Championship. This belt has a 15-minute time limit. Since becoming part of Amboss, Laurence Roman has upped his game massively. He's aggressive and technical. He's just a fantastic performer. And he uses that aggressiveness and technical wrestling to really take the fight to all of the performers, including Jet Marshall in this match, and got some great heat whilst doing so. Marshall has had some huge opportunities in North Wrestling. He's faced Liam Slater for the North Championship. He's faced off against guys like Warhorse. He welcomed Leighton Buzzard to the North. And now this match, and the young lad has delivered on every occasion. And this match was no difference. The North faithful really taken to Jet Marshall due to his heart, his courage, and his in-ring ability. Also, props to using Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck as an entrance song. Yes, long-time Wu-Tang fan. Really enjoyed this match, mainly controlled by Roman, although Marshall was given enough time to shine, and despite his heart and courage, just couldn't overcome Roman, who picked up the win, retaining the WXW Shotgun Championship. I'm going to give this 3 sugars. Up next was Axel Tischer facing off against a man that took Liam Slater out earlier in the night. It was Rampage Brown versus Axel Tischer. See, I told you they were going to make it up to you. And what can I say? Just 2 absolute veterans, professionals. They went out there and they absolutely delivered. They did what they do best, and that's wrestle. Rampage had the power, Tischer had the technical wedge, and they crafted an excellent match. Back and forth action, hard hitting, big slamming, tight locks. Oh, just so much fun. It was anything, you just couldn't expect anything less from these 2 stars. Rampage picked up the win with the Dr. Bomb, followed by the Pile Driver. 2 amazing veterans. I'm going to give this match 3.5 sugars. Up next, it was Munny versus Rhio. This match had a little bit of everything and was extremely entertaining. With Gene bringing his usual brand of comedy and hard-hitting action that really put Rhio over once again. We got to see Rhio show off her power, her striking, and technical ability. Munny played an amazing foil for her, really playing up some spots with some great facials. But also, he has that power, he has that explosive moveset that put Rhio on the defensive. But it was Rhio who would prevail after foiling a low blow attempt by Gene Munny, only to hit a low blow of her own, followed by the package pile driver. Really fun match. It's about time they gave Rhio a title shot for that North NCL championship. They don't have a women's championship, so she needs a top shot at that top prize. She's had several big wins in the recent month, plus she's an NCL Cup winner. I, for one, would love to see Rhio versus Leon Slater for the North Wrestling title. You know they would smash it. Rhio is absolutely killing it in North. Gene was a great opponent. 3 sugars. Finally, it was the main event. It was Leon Slater defending the North Wrestling NCL Championship for the first time against rising WXW European Hungarian star Peter Tihanyi. I was really looking forward to this match. Of course I was. I had fantasy booked this match so many times on our podcast, and I was not disappointed. It was slightly weird. Normally, when I watch Tihanyi, he's a crowd favorite, even getting cheered over by people like Mike Bailey. But with the North Faithful, well, they were just behind Leon Slater, and they made Peter Tihanyi the bad guy. I assume not many obviously know about Tihanyi or followed his career, but I love that Tihanyi did lean into this bad guy behavior. He was much more cocky than he usually is. I do believe by the end of the match, Tihanyi had won over large sections of the crowd. Not like they started cheering him or anything, but I feel that the fans resonated him. It was an exciting in-ring ability that mirrored Leon Slater, and it was certainly appreciated by the fans by the end of the match. Two incredibly talented performers. Leon is one of the hottest talents in the world right now. He played his part in this fight just brilliantly, an underdog battling throughout with what maybe could have been a legit issue with his leg, or either that or his selling is just that damn good. This gave Peter a body part to focus on to get more heat from the crowd. All I can say is it was a fantastic match. I thought it was excellent when watching live. It was amazing, tremendous when watching it back on WXW now. It was just even better. Really great match. Excellent finish. Two performers who reveled in the applause post-match, which they absolutely deserve. Leon Slater retaining the North Wrestling NCL Championship. I'm going to have to give it 4.25 sugars, just edging out that tag team match between Crashboat and the Frenchadors for match of the night. It's weird. When I was there live, I would have said that the tag team match was match of the night, but watching it back, I have to say Leon and Peter Tihanyi was match of the night. Fantastic. Overall, I really enjoyed this show. So quickly to a couple of moans. This show took place during the Great Northern Run, so hotels had trebled prices and had to stay a lot further away than I originally planned. But this is not North or WXW's fault, so I'm not going to hold it against them. The one that I slightly more difficult concerns fans, very small minority, but when the Frenchadors entered the ring, there was a chant of F the French, and I don't like that. I think it's a stupid way to boo, boo, cheer, but don't focus on what country they're from. That is so like 1980s wrestling. There was a section in my area that actually booed the chant, and which I did too, and it was great. The other moan would be maybe the limitations on the venue, but at the same time, it just does provide that great, awesome underground feeling. So it's difficult to say whether it's a drawback or not. But that's really it. I don't really have any moans. The show was fantastic. The booking was what I expected it to be. The North Faithful were incredible. They never let up, constantly making noise, cheering and booing when appropriate. And it was just everyone was just so fantastically friendly. I really hope that we get to see North and WXW work more together, maybe even give it a Walker Stadium show to give the performers more space to work with, especially if we can put Rory, Coyle and Deissker in a street fight and let them go Cactus, Jack and Vader. This was an amazing opportunity for some of the North performers to get their names out there on a European platform, and with the show obviously being available on WXW. Now, I do hope they put it on the fight profile for North as well, so the North fans who maybe don't sign up to WXW now, like myself, can also watch it back, and the people who weren't there can obviously go watch and see how great this show was. But back to the performers, I think many of the young competitors from North really did impress. I mean, if I was WXW scouting, obviously there's Leon Slater to look at, but Rhio and Natalie could really add to their women's division, which is a drawback of WXW, if I'm honest. Joe Wade could really stand out and could fit in WXW roster. Given his, what I believe is a martial art background, I'd love to see him and Fast Time Bodo trade kicks and martial arts skills. And I'm sure that would be a really, really fun match. So, as I say, I really hope we see more shows from North and WXW in the future. Maybe North can head over to Germany. That would be really, really interesting. There's lots of matches that you could still have. You've got Only Friends versus Lycos Gym. I think that would just be a technical classic. Frenchadors versus Boisterous Behavior, although that's probably not going to be able to happen now. We'll find out when I do my WXW Tag Team Festival review. Young Simmons and Rampage Brown to trade off who's got the best pile driver, and of course, two big absolute horse. Liam Slater versus Icarus could be a great technical match, as would a rematch against Axel Tischer. Will Cruz versus Deissker. Let's get a heavyweight contest in there as well. Give Rhio a shot at Everett's WXW Women's Championship. Got to bring Maggot to North as well. He's just such an excellent performer. Maybe against someone like Munny could be a lot of fun. Plus, there's the young German and European performers like Anil Marek, Elijah Blum, Nick Schreier, and so many more that could face off against some of the younger performers like Jet Marshall, like Joe Wade, like Joe Kessler, like Crashboat, and many, many more. As for the show itself, I've definitely got to give it 4 sugars over all. Really, really fun night. Really, really enjoyed myself. You can watch this show and all things WXW via their YouTube channel on-demand service, WXW Now 2.0. The shows, I do believe, are also still streamed on the WWE Network. Since this show, they've just finished one of their biggest weekends of the year, the World Tag Team Festival, which I will be reviewing soon. They were also joined by GCW, who ran their first 2 shows in Germany. For the first time, I will be reviewing those shows along with the GCW UK shows and TNT Extreme. You can follow all things North Wrestling via their Patreon service on Fight TV with the Fight TV subscription service. North have their own tag team tournament, which is coming up soon. It kicks off at the World at Large show on the 4th of November in the Anarchy Brewery in Newcastle. So far announced, US independent star, GCW star Cole Radrick will be making his North debut. He'll be challenging Clint Margera for the North Wrestling Ultra-Violent Championship. Plus, Joe Hendry returns to North Wrestling for the first time in quite some time. He'll be facing off against Michael Oku, which should be an absolute smashing match, really. In other news, Leon Slater, champion of North NCL champion, he will be defending that championship at the Impact Wrestling Turning Point tapings, which take place when Impact head to Newcastle on the 27th of October. As part of their UK Invasion tour. Well, that about wraps everything up for now. Remember to support independent wrestling, support independent promotions, support independent wrestlers, and support independent Red Podcast YouTube channels that support independent wrestlers. And remember, don't feed those trolls.